What's up, everybody? Hope you enjoyed some of those clips. Today we're talking about the USD Sway. This is the Sway team. Notice I did not skate it flat with the Kaiser Fluid 5 frame. I don't skate flat. I don't enjoy skating flat. And I definitely don't enjoy the Kaiser 5 frame flat from the times I've tried it on other skates. If I wanted to skate flat, the only frame that works for me flat is the FR Wish frame and the Wish medium frame, but I don't like dealing with different size wheels. So if you want a 100% stock review, I'm sorry. This would basically be the Team 58 stock. It's the same thing as the light gray one that comes with the Fluid 4 frame and anti-rocker. So yeah, that's the way I skated it. That's the way I like to skate. If I wanted to skate something flat and enjoy the rolling experience, I would skate my big wheels. For grinding and aggressive, I like to skate anti-rocker. It is what it is. But yeah, let's talk about this skate. So a while ago, probably a year and a half ago, I actually had the Farmers in a size 9. I tried to downsize in them, and they hurt my feet so bad that I ended up just selling them, and I didn't make a review video. So this is one of the few skates I've skated before that I haven't done a review video. And then my buddy Jason got some, and he was making them look pretty good. So I was like, okay, well, I'll try to upsize in them, and I'll get the 10 and a half, and hopefully it's not too big. And it kind of is. I did a few things that made it not like way too big. It is skatable. It's kind of like them medium. It's a little sloppy and too big, but I can make it work if I have to. And I really do like this skate. Which brings me to one point, like Matthias, dog, dude, Julio made an in-between size. He made this medium. Please, just make a shell size that's in between this giant 10 and a half, almost 11 shell and the teeny tiny 8-9 shell. Like, if any of the companies can afford to do it, USD can, because they're one of the leaders in the industry. Fill in the shell gaps, people. Like, that is the biggest problem with our freaking industry, is companies refuse to invest in getting more proper shell sizes, which means a lot of people who would be really into skating don't have anything that fits them properly. So, sorry, that rant's over, but I'm really annoyed with most companies shell sizing. The break is obnoxious. Like, 9-10 shell breaks, people. 9-10 shell breaks. It's not that hard. That has got to be the most average size foot for most people. Like 9.5, 10. That's like the average dude size foot. But for some reason, we only do 8-9 for baby size feet, and then we have giant clunker feet, and there's nothing in between. It's really annoying. Shout out Mesmer. You did a 9-10 shell break. Shout out Julio and them for doing this medium, which is a 9-10 shell break. Everybody else, you're lacking. Okay, but let's talk about the skate. The best thing about this skate, in my opinion, is I love the Fluid 4 frames. Y'all know I've been skating those for a while. The best thing about this skate is the sole plate. This is the most well-engineered sole plate for aggressive skating. The negative is, like, if you're into negative tricks, it's so perfect. Like, it locks so good on negative tricks. But it's also, like, designed really well, where it's not like the USD 7 sole plate, where it's so big that just trying to skate, you're, like, slipping out and clopping around. It's, like, sleek where it needs to be, but then it sticks out and is wide where you need it to be. And the, like, added heel fin is awesome. And this interior groove is so nice for, like, tricks like soles or farves or anything. It just goes in and guides. If you do a low sole and you're pointing your foot, it doesn't wander. It kind of goes in here and just stays and locks, which is nice. And then that brings me to the backside groove, which doesn't look like much. It looks really simple and small, but it's like so perfect for unities, royales, farves, whatever. It goes right in there, it balances, and it holds you. And it, like, the way that these things lock into tricks, especially groove tricks, is amazing. And yeah, the positive sole plate size is big enough, but it's not so huge that you're skidding out and slipping. And it locks for top size and everything great. I do like the style of sole plates like the Sways, where the heel fin is as wide or maybe even a little wider than the rest of the sole plate. So I really like this sole plate. And I have another video which you can go watch, which is on this same channel, where I put the Sway sole plate on a size 10 Rossi's M12. And that was a fun project, and that's a really fun setup too. Because the Rossi's plastic is just so good and flexy, but the M12 sole plate I'm not a huge fan of. So the Sway sole plate on the Rossi's boot was pretty sick. Which brings me to one of the other things, the boot. The shell shape and design is really awesome. The plastics feel kind of stiff and kind of brittle in some ways, but kind of flimsy and kind of cheap in other ways. So the cuff, like forward flex, plenty of that. But the cuff is kind of like a big wheel cuff. I think it's designed to be really supportive with this like extra thick molded plastic instead of like a mellow V cut. And it kind of reminds me of the FR cuff, where it's really stiff, like laterally, like side to side is, you don't have a lot of give or flex. Forward flex, great, but laterally pretty stiff, which is a bit getting used to. If you rock the cuff buckle a little looser, top sides and royales and everything are still fine and easy. And it kind of gives it this unique, cool feeling on top sides, where because it is stiffer, it almost fights you, but then once you once you get it topside, it really pins down and holds you in topside, which is good. I did skate it with the stock liner because all the aftermarket liners, because the skate is a little too big, all the aftermarket liners felt even more too roomy. For stock liners, as far as stock liners go, this has got to be one of the better stock liners. This or some of the rollerblade stock liners is good. The footbed was absolute garbage, so I just put my rain skates footbed in there, and then I put the shock absorber that comes in this ways. I feel like tilts me too far on my toes, so I just put this little dead shock absorber in the stock liner, and I think that felt quite appropriate, and it gave me a nice little bit of shock absorption. The tongue is nice and thick and poofy on the stock liner. Yeah, it's nothing too special. I did put a little bit of shoe goo to give it better grip on like the sock part, and then I put a little shoe goo on the back to help with heel lift, which I think made a big difference. And then something for me, if you do struggle with me and the shell feels a little big, I got this foam, kind of arts and crafts foam tape from Walmart that's like 2.5, 3 millimeters thick. And I use that to cover the ankle bolts, and I put a couple strips on the back. And so it slid my foot a little forward, and it helped soak up some of that slop. The stock laces were nothing to write home about, so I switched them out with just some wax hockey laces. Nothing special, not a bad thing. Most companies come with pretty cheap stock laces. But yeah, wax hockey laces from just a hockey shop usually work great for aggressive skates. The vents in the boot are pretty nice. They help air out your foot a little bit. And the weird heel hooks on this particular version of the team, I just took out. They seemed pretty pointless, and so that's annoying. That's kind of an eyesore for the aesthetics. I don't think this skate needs a heel hook or a 45-degree strap if you know how to tie your skates tight. I'm skating a skate that's too big for me, and I still felt like the laces did plenty of a job. I don't think 45-degree straps, especially cheap Velcro ones, they don't really seem to make sense to me. Like, the 145-degree strap on a skate I do have is on the Twister XT. That 45-degree strap is almost like a snowboard buckle with a ratchet, and it's made of like nice supportive rubber, and it actually does something. I don't feel like you can get the torque or the pressure on a Velcro strap that you need. And then the weird heel hooks, I also feel like just aren't as effective. If you know how to there's different ways you can lace your skates, and if you know how to do it right, you can get all of the support you need from your laces if you tie it properly, in my opinion. But that's just a hot take there. Yeah, I think that is pretty much all of my thoughts on this skate. I think for the price, it's one of the best skates you can get. If it fits your foot, it's amazing. Like, I understand why a lot of people, even though this is kind of a budget skate, where there's a lot of pros and a lot of people that really, really like this skate. I think it is phenomenal. It's just the size issue that really bums me out. If it fit my foot better, this would probably be my new daily driver, because that sole plate is sick. So Matthias, if by some chance you ever watch this, or if any skate companies really, if you want one of my biggest feedbacks where people are lacking, especially all these new boot companies that are like making basically the same stuff that's already out there, if you want to make a difference, fill in the size gaps that aren't already covered. So if you're a leading company, make a 910, a US 910 shell size, a medium shell size. If you're a new company and you want to actually serve a purpose or do something good for the industry, again, find out which shell sizes companies have had to skip for budgets to save. I understand molds cost money, but if you're going to make a new company, find the shell sizes that aren't covered and cover them. Like, that's, to me, that's the answer. But anyways, that's my thoughts on the USD Sway. Great skate. Wish it fit me better. On to the next one. See you guys later.